Good evening, class. I hope you've all been well since my past lesson. I'm coming back today to talk to you about different types of cadences. And these are entirely new cadences to us, very exciting. But before I get started, I just wanted to ask you guys, what cadences have we learned up until now?
We have authentic cadences,
Uh-huh.
perfect and imperfect.
Mm-hmm.
We have plagal cadences.
No, we don't. We're gonna learn those today. It's okay. It's okay to know a little more. That'll be really good background for what we're going to get
Half
into today.
cadence.
Half cadence. That's the right one. Okay. Well, so far we've only really gone over authentic and half cadences. Can anyone in the class tell me the difference between an authentic and a half cadence?
Authentic cadence ends on the tonic for the 1, and half cadence ends on the 5.
Awesome. And so, just to talk a little bit more about these cadences before we explore some new ones. Usually when we see an authentic cadence, it's at like the very, very end of like a musical phrase. So something very conclusive, right? We'll see them at the end of pieces. We'll see them like whenever you go from like an A section to a B section. We'll see them pretty much like sometimes, especially in like classical and Baroque music, like every 4 measures. And we'll see half cadences kind of, honestly, usually in the midway between the beginning and your authentic cadence. And we can rate cadences almost on a level of like how stable or how like resolving they sound and feel. And that helps us determine where in a piece we would choose to play them or write them in, or kind of their function. So, thought that was an incredible review. Let's get on to learning 3 new different types of cadences today. So, our first cadence is going to be our church music amen cadence, our plagal cadence. Now, a plagal cadence, as you see, here, I'm so sorry, it's in the middle, is going to have this 4-to-1 motion in the bass line, as well as within the chords, right? So, I know you're very, very good at harmonic analysis. Can you please analyze these chords for me? You're in C major.
And C major, the first one is going to be the 4.
Major or minor 4?
Major.
Amazing.
The next one's the tonic, capital 1.
Amazing. Great. Okay. So this is going to be our plagal. I'm just going to write it above. And would you like to hear how that sounds? Yep.
Yes.
Incredible. Okay. I'll have to look behind me. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3. Amazing. So yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about kind of what this 4-to-1 motion means, where you find it in a piece in just a bit. But let's first just find like our balance with the other cadences. So the next cadence we have is going to be a deceptive cadence. And it's right here. So a deceptive cadence sets a resolution, just as you'd see with a authentic cadence. So you do your tonic, you'll do your predominant, then you get to your dominant or your 5, right? Generally 5, but not always 5, right? You get to your dominant, and then instead of going dominant back to tonic, you actually go to the major minor 6. And that's dependent on the key in which you are in. And that's why it's called deceptive, because you feel like, oh, you're right about to get to a resolution, but instead you go somewhere else. So this is our deceptive cadence. Just as I asked you last time, would you mind helping me do a harmonic analysis of this? We're also in C major.
So the first one's a 1.
Awesome.
Next one's a 4.
Okay.
Then a 5.
Mm-hmm.
And then a minor 6.
Yes. Spooky, right? We we never see something like this. This is usually quite rare. And honestly, it's not really like used too much nowadays. But would you like to hear how this sounds?
Yes.
Amazing. Okay. One, two, three, four. So you hear that weird suspension almost. It feels like you're going entirely elsewhere. And that's kind of a clue because sometimes a deceptive cadence is used as a sudden tonal shift to a different key signature. Very cool. Or maybe not key signature, but like for a little modulation, you know? Okay, now that we've covered these two, we only have one left. And the last one we have left is our Phrygian cadence, which will be right over here. Phrygian cadences are only seen in minor keys because of the motion that you are expecting within like the bass line. So if you look at this, we have this A flat to G, that is a half step motion, and that's supposed to call upon the Phrygian mode, being as why this is labeled a Phrygian cadence, which I will label it right now. Okay, spelled that correctly. Phrygian cadences are actually, this one specifically is like a Phrygian half cadence. And why do you think I might be calling it a Phrygian half cadence instead of just a flat out cadence?
It's in on the 5.
Exactly. Incredible job. You have all the correct answers today. That's awesome. And as you said that, it doesn't land on the major or the minor 5?
Major.
Cool, yeah. So I know since we're in minor, we have the option of landing on either. Just wanted to make sure. But yeah, so we'll go from the 4/6 to the major 5 and do this downward stepwise motion in the bass to call upon our Phrygian mode. I know we haven't really gone over modes yet, but I just wanted to let you know that that was something to be aware of. And just like a normal half cadence, we'll see this not necessarily at the very end of a phrase, but we'll see it in the middle, and it's a great way to add texture into if you're writing pieces in minor. So, as I said, this is a 4/6. Nothing very shocking about that. I know often, this is the more, like the most standardized example of what a Phrygian cadence is. I believe, I don't know, but you could probably also use a 4, but I would stick to this as our definition for now. Okay, let me write deceptive above this. So now that we've touched on every single type of new cadence, I wanted to talk to you just about the bass lines, and we're going to do a little bit of singing so we get these kind of in our heads. First thing I want you to do, I want you to provide me the solfege for the bass line of this deceptive cadence.
It's do, fa, sol, la.
Okay, do, fa, sol, la. Great. And how about we sing this, or maybe you sing this while I play the chords alongside. We will go really slowly. I just want you to sing along so that we're able to feel what this bass line is kind of supposed to sound like. Because that's kind of really a very, very important thing to do. Okay. Are you ready to sing? Here, let me get you into the key first. So this is our do. What if we sang maybe like a little scale together? Or like just a five notes. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, so, fa, mi, re, do. That's really all you need. I said 5 notes, but I meant 6. Oops. Okay. How about we sing this together? So, 1, 2, this is do. Do, fa, sol, la. Did you kind of see how that moved in a very deceptive way? Did that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you did a fantastic job. Incredible. So now let's do that for the rest of these. So what about this bass line? Can you please provide me the solfege for this?
Fa, do.
Fa, do. Great job. Okay. And just like the last one, we're just gonna sing fa to do. So we're still in C major, so do, re, mi, fa. This is your starting note, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. I didn't sing that right. Oh my gosh. I think I sang completely different things. Here, it's a little hard for me to play it and sing it at the same time. Do you mind singing it by yourself? Thank you. Thank you. Incredible job. Yeah, so I was singing some other chordal tones, but we wanted to really focus on this 4-to-1 motion. I'm sure if you've ever sat through a church service and you've listened to their hymns, you've heard that at some point. Incredible job. Lastly, let's go here. Can you provide me the solfege of the bass line here?
Lay, so.
Lay, so. Wow. Lay, so. And just like before, we're going to sing this. But now that we're in C minor, I'm gonna reorient ourselves to a new key. So this is, let's just sing a scale together. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, re, harmonic di, do, di, re, sol, fa, mi, re, do. Okay, I want to ask you guys a quick question. Why do you think I chose to play the harmonic minor instead of, let's say, the melodic minor or the other ones?
So we have a lay in the bass of the first chord, and then there's the leading tone in the second chord.
Amazing, yep. You got it right on, nail on the head. So, now that we've done this, let's sing. So you're responsible for singing the bass line. Oh. That's great. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool, incredible job. I'm loving all the sight singing we're doing here. So now that we have listened to these, we've sung to these, we know a little bit about their function, let's talk about where we usually find them in a piece. So, starting with their deceptive cadences will add drama, and they will usually function as a way to change the course of the entire piece dramatically, whether that just be because of wanting to add any sort of like heightened like feeling emotion within the piece, or as a sudden modulation, as I mentioned. Very fun, very interesting, very cool, and you'll find this in place, this chord specifically, in place of an authentic cadence chord. So instead of seeing the 1, you see this 6, right? And this is present in both major and minor. Now with our plagal, we usually see it at the end of a piece, and oftentimes, especially within church music or any sort of music where it's found, we will see it at the very, very end, right after an authentic cadence, usually a perfect authentic cadence is played. So it's kind of like a little tag, like a little add-on to show that we're very much resolved and finishing the piece. And this is also seen in both major and minor. Then lastly, with our Phrygian half cadence, as I said, we will just kind of usually see it as a half cadence, only seen in minor to add kind of that texture, dramaticism, and flavor. It is weaker than a normal half cadence, which is important to note if you're writing only these. Like I would say, don't do that. I know you're a composition major, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't, but that's just something that we'd like to know. Yeah. Do you have any questions about any of the cadences? Anything else you'd like to hear?
I don't think so.
Okay, then how about to close off the class, let's do, I didn't think, but I was thinking like maybe we could do something fun. Or like, here, to close off the class, I want you to tell me one fun fact that you learned today about each cadence. And it doesn't have to be a crazy fun fact, but tell me something that really stuck with you about each cadence that'll help you remember them in the future whenever you hear them in harmonic dictations, whenever you find them in pieces. Like, tell me something about that really sticks out that makes you remember them.
Well, for the deceptive, as the name implies, it goes to somewhere where you're not expecting.
Mm-hmm.
For the plagal, it comes after like a authentic cadence, kind of just extends that, the end. And for the Phrygian, the name comes from the Phrygian mode.
Incredible. Okay, great job today. Thank you so much.